Today, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk for severe weather across the Central Plains into the upper Midwest, and the dominant threat is tornadoes capable of doing catastrophic damage. Nearly 28 million people live inside the risk zone stretching from eastern Kansas through Nebraska and Iowa into the Great Lakes. Today's Doppler score is a perfect 10 out of 10, an extreme threat day driven by tornado and giant hail. Before this briefing ends, I'm going to tell you the exact city and the exact hour I think produces the first confirmed tornado today. My read on this setup is simple. The atmosphere across the Central Plains is carrying dangerous levels of storm fuel, and the winds at every level of the atmosphere are aligned in a way that turns any storm that fires today into a potential tornado producer. This is the map that tells the story. On your screen now is the instability and wind shear crossover animation. Look at the overlap zone from eastern Kansas northeast into Iowa and northern Illinois. That is where explosive energy meets tightly crossing wind directions, and that crossing pattern is what spins storms. Now here's the jet stream animation. A powerful corridor of upper-level winds is aimed directly from southwestern Kansas into Iowa and Illinois. Storms that form under this corridor will be driven hard to the northeast and efficiently organized. And this surface forecast chart confirms the picture. A low-pressure center over Iowa is pulling warm, humid air northward on its east side, while a cold front sweeps southeast from the northern plains. The collision zone along that front is the trigger. The one variable I'm watching is the cap. If it holds past 6 p.m., storm coverage will be more isolated and the organized tornado window gets shorter. The hail probabilities on today's outlook are the highest numbers I've seen in a long time. So let me walk you through each hazard starting there. Here's the day 1 hail probability map. A 45% chance of large hail within 25 miles of any point is centered over Kansas, with the highest significant threat overlay sitting right over the core of the risk area. That overlay means hail 2 inches or larger, large enough to shatter windshields, total vehicles, and punch through roof shingles in seconds. But I need to call out something else. The highest intensity hatching is present in that same zone. That means there is an elevated probability of baseball-sized hail or larger inside this corridor. We are not talking about dime-sized stones bouncing off your hood. We are talking about hail that can collapse a carport, destroy solar panels, and injure anyone caught outside. If you have vehicles in this zone, get them under hard cover before 3 p.m. There is no fixing a car that takes a direct hit from a baseball. Now look at the day 1 wind probability map on your screen. A 30% chance of damaging winds is focused from Wisconsin south into northern Oklahoma, with significant hatching across the core. That tells me straight-line winds of 65 miles per hour or greater are likely inside the strongest storm clusters, with gusts potentially reaching 75 miles per hour or more. That is enough force to snap mature hardwood trees, peel sections of roof off homes, and throw patio furniture through windows. Secure anything in your yard that can become airborne. And here's the map that concerns me most. The day 1 tornado probability. 15% tornado probability stretching from southwest Iowa through eastern Kansas, with both significant hatching and the highest intensity overlay on top. Let me be very direct. That highest overlay means there is a real, non-trivial chance of violent tornadoes today. EF 3 or stronger. Tornadoes strong enough to level well-built homes down to the slab and throw vehicles hundreds of yards. The Storm Prediction Center reserves this signal for only a handful of events each year. If you are anywhere inside this hatched zone, you need an interior room on the lowest floor with no windows, and every person in your household needs to know where that room is before storms arrive. This is about where these probabilities point, so let me show you exactly which cities are inside the polygons. The highest risk on the board today sits over Wichita, inside the moderate zone. Step out to Enhanced and the Kansas City Metro, Omaha, Lincoln, and Des Moines are all inside the orange. Slight risk covers a wide arc including Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Springfield, St. Louis, and Tulsa. On the marginal fringe, Cleveland, Minneapolis, and the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro are included, but today's focus is squarely on that enhanced and moderate core from Kansas through Iowa. If your city is on this list, this is the video to share with someone who doesn't check weather maps. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, so tomorrow's briefing lands in your feed before the next round fires. On your screen now is the model radar forecast. Storms initiate along the front in eastern Kansas between 2 and 3 p.m. Central Time. By 4 p.m., discrete supercells are already moving northeast across the Kansas City Metro. Between 5 and 7 p.m., those supercells cross into Iowa and begin to merge into a larger complex, while new discrete cells fire ahead of the line across northern Illinois. The most dangerous window for the Chicago area is 7 to 10 p.m., as organized storms with tornado and giant hail potential arrive during the evening commute and into nightfall. Overnight, the complex races into the Great Lakes after midnight with damaging winds as the primary hazard through 3 a.m. My call. Des Moines sees the first confirmed tornado between 4:30 and 6 p.m. Central, right as supercells mature on the nose of the strongest wind energy aloft. No tornado or severe thunderstorm watches have been issued yet as of this recording. I expect the Storm Prediction Center to issue a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch across eastern Kansas and western Iowa by early to mid-afternoon. When that watch drops, treat it as a signal to finalize your plan. Charge your phone. Move to a structure with a safe room. Keep weather alerts on with full volume through the overnight hours because storms will still be severe after dark. I'm putting the action plan on your screen right now. 1. Get vehicles under hard cover before 3 p.m. Central if you're anywhere from Kansas through Iowa. 2. Identify your safe room now. Interior room, lowest floor, no windows, and make sure every family member knows where it is. 3. Charge all devices and have a battery backup ready because power outages are likely tonight. 4. Do not drive into heavy storms after dark. Hydroplaning and zero visibility are killers in overnight, severe weather. If a tornado warning hits your neighborhood at 9:30 p.m. while your kids are asleep, does every person in your house know exactly where to go without being told? On your screen is the Doppler threat outlook for the next 6 days. Today is far and away the peak, but tomorrow carries a slight risk worth knowing about. The Day 2 categorical map shows a broad slight risk stretching from the southern plains northeast into the Ohio Valley and New England as this system races east. The tornado threat drops to a 2% corridor from the Great Lakes into the northeast, and the primary hazard shifts to damaging wind along a 15% corridor from the southern plains through the mid-Atlantic. Hail holds at a 15% pocket over the southern high plains with significant hatching, so large hail remains possible there. Day 3 drops to marginal, with a couple of small areas of concern and no action needed from most viewers today. By Day 4 and beyond, the maps are blank. The pattern calms down. You get a real break starting midweek. On your screen now is the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center, and this is a moderate risk for flash flooding centered right over the same corridor getting hit by severe storms today. That means rainfall rates high enough to flood streets, overwhelm storm drains, and push creeks out of their banks in minutes. If you are driving tonight across Iowa or northern Missouri, standing water will be on roadways. Do not drive through it. 6 inches of moving water can sweep a vehicle off the road. Looking at the backside of this storm system, the surface forecast chart shows mixed precipitation over portions of the northern Rockies. If you're well north and west of the severe weather zone, expect a raw, cold night with gusty winds behind the front. Not a major event, but a sharp reminder that this system has teeth on every side. Doppler tracking. Doppler out.